down in here, specifically we have our launch limiter. It's default set here at 5,000, and then we can find here anti-lag. This is the portion where we might want to go and implement, trying to build a little bit more boost when we're trying to use this feature. Now the anti-lag is going to be pulling ignition timing and then adding fuel. That's going to create late combustion into the turbo manifold, which is going to spin the turbine wheel faster to generate boost. So generally speaking, when we're trying to launch the car, we don't have enough load on the engine to be able to build a decent amount of boost. So if we were in fourth gear at 5,000 RPM compared to first gear at 5,000 RPM, we'll find that under higher load, higher gears, we can definitely build boost. First gear, we might not build much of anything in boost because again, that load's not as high because we're not putting that engine in that condition. So that's the same kind of thing here with the launch. We need to initiate the turbo to get up on boost so that when we launch it, we actually have a bunch of power there. Now, before I go into doing any of this, I wanted to really quickly mention here under the Vtec, we've took care of this already, but under the Vtec minimum coolant temp, we can see this is 100 degrees. We want to make sure that it's set relatively low, 90 to 100, and that your minimum speed and disengage speed here are also set here at 0. This is going to ensure when you're using the launch control that you have Vtec engaging. If you don't go in here and set these to 0, when you go to initiate your launch control and your anti-lag, you're going to be launching out of Vtec. I just wanted to point that out because it's very easy to overlook this as a little bit of a detail here that can make all the difference at the drag strip trying to launch your car. So let's go back in here to our Rev Limits. So the default here under the launch RPM is 5,000 RPM. That should be a decent starting point. What I'll actually do on this car, since it does have a relatively large turbo and it spools relatively late, I'm going to raise this up here to 6,000 RPM. I'm going to be anticipating this is probably going to be launching on slicks at the drag strip and not on street tires. The disengagement speed here at 3 miles per hour is going to be when it shuts the two-step off. We'll leave that there. What we're going to have to do right now, let's go save this real quick. We'll actually go do an upload. We'll save these changes that we've made here at 6,000. That's going to be my default. Now, if I want to go and raise or lower that speed, I'm going to use my cruise control functions on the steering wheel in order to accomplish that, to be able to maybe go to 5,500 or go to 6,500. So this is going to be kind of my starting point. In the anti-lag here, we have to definitely be a little bit more specific, but let's kind of baseline it and see what it's going to do just off the basic two-step. If we're trying to build, let's say 7 or 8 pounds of boost. Let's say it's our goal in boost. Let's see what it baselines without the anti-lag. If we don't have to run anti-lag, it's better on the engine, easier on the engine, much easier on the exhaust valves. You'll find if you're too aggressive with the anti-lag, you can actually warp and bend your exhaust valves. Then you're pulling apart the engine to fix the exhaust valves. Even if you have upgraded exhaust valves, this has upgraded valve train in it. I still try to just be reasonable with the anti-lag because you don't want to put unnecessary wear on the engine, have to tear it down for just because you have too aggressive settings here and using the anti-launch control. So again, let's kind of baseline it, see where we're at for boost, how much boost we build, and then we'll evaluate using the anti-lag. As soon as this is done flashing here, we'll continue on, and then we'll look at that process, just given that baseline, and then move on to possibly working with that anti-lag feature. All right, so that last flash here succeeded. Let's close that real quick. What we're going to do here is just jump into our graph. We're going to initiate, let's go fire it up here. We're just going to initiate a log and just kind of establish again where we're at. So let's get online here. You can see the coolant temps dropped a little bit, 142. That should be okay. We did have it up to about 165. So I know the engine is up to operating temperature. It had been up to operating temperature. And I know the oil has some heat into it at least. It's not going to be on a bone cold engine here. I'm trying to work and do this two-step. So what I'm going to do real quick, hit the record button, and we'll baseline this and see where we're at, again, as far as the boost and the RPM here. So click record, and we're just simply going to, I'm stopped right now. All I have to do is just rev the engine. Let's just bring it up here and try it. All right, let's stop our recording. So I did have to push on the clutch switch. I did forget that piece of the puzzle. K-Pro and S300 don't have to have that happen. Looks like this does have to initiate the clutch switch.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.